Hello everybody, I am Joshua and welcome to this Sims 3 house remodeling video. Now today I'm not remodeling a house built by EA, but instead I'm remodeling a house made by the Sim Supply, which is quite different for me to do. So this house is titled Bushwa Abode and was made for the Sim Supply's Roaring Heights Let's Play. I'll have a link in the description to the original building video that he made of this house. Now, actually, an interesting fact about this is this house was actually in the game before he came to it. He just remodeled it for his Let's Play quite extensively, if I do say so myself. So this is kind of a double remodel. But bourgeois actually means garbage or rubbish. So actually, he titled this house Garbage House. So hopefully, I'll change that with this remodel. But anyway, I've already changed the shape of the house quite a lot here. I've added quite a lot of extra space out the back by adding an addition. I also pushed the front back a bit because I felt it was too close to the street, so it's kind of more in the middle of the lot now instead of all bunched up at the front. But anyway, when it comes to the color scheme, I kind of kept the brick, but I made it a little bit darker. And I've also kind of changing the color of the peach siding. I've kind of made it more of a mauve-y color. I'm not really sure what color that is. Taupe, perhaps. I also added some brick accents, like in between the levels as well, which kind of makes it look like there's a split level there, even though there's not. I don't know if you think that or not, but whatever. Also adding in some wood paneling, just for some accents, just like kind of like a honey-colored, thin wood panels around the place, just to add a little bit of accent to the outside, so it's not just all brick and stucco. Now, when it comes to windows, I had a little bit of trouble because this house is in Roaring Heights, so I want it to look kind of Art Deco and 1920s-ish, but it kind of turned out looking a little bit more 1970s in the front and a bit more 1920s in the back, which is kind of interesting. But, the reason for that mainly is the windows. So I had trouble with the windows in the front because the Art Deco windows from Roaring Heights were like a little bit too small for the front yard, so I had a little bit of trouble with that. But I ended up using some windows from Showtime in the front, so you'll see that. I also ended up changing the garage door. You can see here I just use the base game one, but I changed it to a glass garage door later on. You can see that I tried out the Into the Future windows, but they just didn't look right, so I ended up using these Showtime windows, which aren't really Art Deco, but they kind of look like it a little bit. So you can see here I just put in some windows and doors on that balcony, and it's a little bit of outdoor lighting, which looks quite nice. I don't know if I do, I do a bit of landscaping. I do the front landscaping, I believe, right now, which is quite interesting. So you can see there I just put a little walkway in and a driveway, and I also love these plants from Roaring Heights, these little bushes. They're not really bushes, they're kind of like small trees. I really like those, so I use them quite a lot around the house. Also just adding in some more trees on the property, and some bushes. The original house didn't have much in landscaping. It was quite sparse, actually. I say sparse, there was actually nothing. So I added in some flower beds and stuff, a little bit of dirt here and there. I think it looks quite nice. And I also added a little bit nicer grass around the place. I thought it looked a little bit weedy, if you ask me. So I did change that. When it comes to the interior, I completely changed it around. The living room, as you can see, used to be on the first floor, and the kitchen and dining room was on the second floor. So I just switched it around and added the living room on the second floor and the kitchen and dining room on the first level, which I thought made a little bit more sense. I also moved the stairs closer to the front door, and I made them 2 wide instead of just single. Also, the garage is a little bit smaller, so I can add a laundry room behind it, so a little bit more efficient use of space as well. So here that's going to be the kitchen and dining room where I'm putting that wall in. I do have a little bit of trouble figuring out the floor plan, but I'd get to it in the end. So that's going to be a patio there. I'm also adding in a little sliding glass door and this little spot here. I had a little trouble trying to figure out the shape I wanted. I just kind of continued the shape of the rest of the house kind of on there. All these like fake balconies, I think that most of them are real, but I think some of them are fake. But I guess we'll find out together. So right there, I'm just adding in a door, which I think I changed to sliding glass doors because I kind of like those a bit better. So you can see there, I'm just adding in some windows on that side of the house and some windows on the back here. So yeah, it's pretty Art Deco windows on the back. Those are pretty much the ones that came from Roaring Heights. But on the front, again, I didn't use them there because they just seemed too small. So the original upstairs had 4 bedrooms, a master bedroom, and then these 3 teeny little rooms. So what I ended up doing, which you'll see in a moment, is I ended up making 2 larger bedrooms and then 1 smaller one. So right here, this is going to be the living room on the second level, which looks down to the kitchen, which is quite unique. I've certainly never seen a living room that looks into a kitchen. That doesn't usually happen. But so the kitchen has a 2-story ceiling, which is quite nice actually. So you can see there's the 4 small bedrooms, which I just demolished. So there's going to be 2 bedrooms on either side and 2 bathrooms. The little room in the front will be the other bedroom. There's also going to be an office on the second level as well, which could be a bedroom if you want it to be, I guess. If you really want to wall it in, you can make it a bedroom. And yes, I'm just choosing the chimney, just putting it in there, and a fireplace as well, just because that's nice. I kind of had conflicting ideas with this house. Originally, I made it kind of more modern, like using modern appliances and stuff, and like a flat screen TV. Then I came back the next day and realized it was ridiculous because I wanted it to be more Art Deco and more like it was actually from the 1920s. So I removed all the modern stuff like that. So there's no TV, no radio, and you'll see when we get to the furnishing what happens with that. So right now I'm just doing more landscaping, just some landscaping down the side and the back. It's pretty simple. There's not anything super elaborate, just nice little flower beds here and there. That's going to be the back patio there. It's like a little pathway that leads to a park, which is quite nice, if you saw. Adding in some flowers and rocks and stuff, and moving the trash can. I had a bit of trouble figuring out where to put the mailbox, but I ended up just sticking it in the middle there with a little bush behind it, which is quite nice. Yeah, so moving into the inside now, and like I said, I had some conflicting ideas with it. So this was the first day, so I kind of made it more modern, and then I came back the next day, like I said, and kind of made it look more 1920s, which you'll see. So right here, I'm just changing the colors of the inside of the windows, because I didn't want them to be blue inside, so I just made them white inside, and they're kind of like a navy blue, gray, not really navy blue, but like a dark blue gray on the outside, as you can see, just to get rid of that turquoise, because I thought the turquoise was a little bit too harsh as an accent color, so I wanted to kind of make it a little bit softer on the eyes. Just cleaning out the garage. The original house did have reflective floors in the garage, but I didn't really want to download that mod, so I just had white in there default, but I do change it to tile later. You can see the garage was quite large. Actually, it's smaller than it was originally even. But I put 2 car parking spaces in it. I only ever put 1 car in it, because I put a lot of details and stuff in the garage later, which you'll see, which makes it quite interesting. So right here, I'm just changing in the entrance. I had a bit of trouble choosing the wall color, and also you can see I had that brick, these brick walls, which looked too 1970s, so I do get rid of them because really this is supposed to be an Art Deco house and not something from the 1920s, so I decided to get rid of those. So right now I'm just choosing the wall color, which I had a bit of trouble with. You can see I went through a bunch of different colors, but I ended up going with like a gray pattern, which is different from the pattern I have there. So right here I'm just going through and putting doors in, which I also change out later for more Art Deco style doors, because I just felt that those doors were a little bit too modern for the house. So right here I'm doing the kitchen. I used modern counters in the kitchen. They really don't necessarily have to be modern, but that's kind of what they came from. And also I did use some older appliances here. This was actually an interesting idea. I put some shelves in the cabinets. I wanted to put them on top of the cabinets, but I couldn't really. So it kind of merges the objects into the cabinet slightly, which is a little bit weird, but you'll see when I get to it. It looks kind of cool because I had the 2-story ceiling and I wanted to kind of take advantage of it and put some stuff above the cabinets. So I was able to do that with some into the future shelves just kind of inside the cabinet, so it looked like I had actually placed objects on top of the cabinets, which I thought was quite interesting. So you can see here I just have like some paper towels in the tissue box, which is really sunken in there. And just some other little detailed items, which I thought was quite cool. So, yeah, right here I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to do with that cabinet. I end up just leaving it open, though I actually used some chandelier chains from the Then and Now set. I think it's called the Then and Now Manor set on the store. I'm not really sure what it's called, to be honest. But I ended up using some chandelier chains from that set to make it look like there's some chains holding up those cabinets, which actually looked pretty cool, which you'll see near the end. So right here I'm just choosing the backsplash, and I use a nice gray, like horizontal tile effect. on there. Also just going through and changing the wallpaper color everywhere, though I will change it again later. And I'm also removing the turquoise on all the balcony edges. So here's where it comes with the tile, and again, like I said, I was going for a more modern look originally, and then I change it. So I have these modern tiles from late night in the kitchen and the entrance, which I later changed to a more 1920s looking tile, which you'll see. It's the same story with the dining room. I originally used a glass table, but again, I changed it to a solid wood table because, again, I felt like the glass was a little bit too modern for this house. So you'll see that. Though I really like the colors in this house. I used white and like blue in the dining room, and a nice chandelier over the table, and I also get in a nice china cabinet. So I did use holographic scenery on this wall, which I later remove again because it was just too futuristic. It's ridiculous. I mean, for a house that's from the 1920s, they're not going to have holographic wall art. So I don't know what I was thinking there, but I do fix it all up later. So there's the china cabinet with a little lamp next to it. Also some nice flowers on the table, which I later straighten out so it's not on an angle in the end. Adding in a nice painting, which I change again. Change a lot of stuff in the dining room, which we'll come to later on. So you see I'm just adding in some sconces everywhere. I love these sconces. I don't know what they're from. I believe they're from the store. I kind of felt that they fit the style of house, so I did keep them in there. Just choosing a rug, which, again, like I said, I'll change. I'm also putting in some mats in the kitchen also. And this is the entrance way, which I think pretty much stays the same. I just changed the flooring. So I'm just putting in a nice mirror next to the door. There's also a lamp there. And a nice little side table where you can put your stuff on, like your keys or whatever else you have when you come in the door. I just put a flower on it and a phone, which, again, I removed the phone because it was just not something you'd have in the 1920s. Wouldn't have a digital phone, or I don't even know what kind of phone that is, but that's definitely not something you'd have in the 1920s. So right here, I'm coming back to the dining room. I'm adding in another piece of wall art and just changing the color of the sink. And also, I went for some chartreuse appliances, which is very interesting. I originally just did the fridge, but then I went in and I did the what do you call it? The oven and the washer and dryer, which you'll see later. Just adding in a few more mats around the place, and yeah, so upstairs I'm just putting in some lights on the second level of the kitchen, just so the lighting glitch is not too prominent, because thank God they're fixing that with The Sims 4, where the light will actually shine from one level to the next level. That's just annoying the way it doesn't do that right now, but never mind. So this is going to be the living room, which I actually changed the sofas to the 1920s kind of sectional sofa that came with Roaring Heights. And again, I also removed the flat screen TV later as well. I mean, this is kind of nice if the house was not situated in Roaring Heights. I mean, of course, if you want a computer, TV, and a phone, you can simply just download the house and stick those in there. It's really not that hard. It only just take a few seconds. But, as this house was situated in the 1920s, I wanted to kind of keep the theme like it was that kind of house. So, that's kind of what I tried to go for here. So right now I just put a little plant in, and a little light there, and I believe we're going to be switching over to when I start making it more 1920s, though I'm not sure when that happens. I'm also adding in a painting over here, which I like. I like that painting from Seasons, mainly because you can change it to whatever color you want. I thought that was a really nice feature. Yeah, so here we go. I'm just trying to make it look a bit more 1920s at this moment. So I didn't like the front door that came with Roaring Heights, so I actually ended up not using it, but when it came to the garage door, I didn't like the see-through glass, so I ended up using the glass garage door from Into the Future, and I tinted the glass. It's kind of modern, but I don't know if it actually helped anything, but, I was just playing around with the roof, seeing if I could do anything, because I noticed all the other houses had flat roofs, but I didn't really want to do that, because it kind of made the house feel a little bit unfinished. So I found these things in not build mode, in the decorative tool and buy mode, and they're from Roaring Heights. They're like little Art Deco pillar things. So I just threw them around the place. I added in all these little detail, as like a little detail in all these places. I thought kind of add a little bit of 1920s look to the house. Yeah, so we're coming into the dining room, and I'm choosing a new dining table, one that I feel is a little bit more 1920s-ish because it's a bit less modern, but it's still very nice and simple. So yeah, I'm just changing out the paintings. I'm using paintings that came from Roaring Heights as well. So you can see I'm just getting a couple of these in. I really like these paintings, actually. I like the one on the left especially. I think it's really cool, nice and bright and colorful. Also, I changed out the door there, as you can see, to a Roaring Heights door. And the rug was very interesting. If you recall, they had these like grass rugs that came with Into the Future you could use to put plants on. But like, what's really cool about them is like they have little sections, like little tiles you can put wherever you want. So I actually used them as the rug under the dining table because they fit perfectly. Like they weren't too big or too small, and I could make it any shape or size I wanted. I think that is really cool. Something I never saw or thought of before, so I thought that was a really neat idea. Yeah, so I'm just trying to add some detail to the dining room. I wasn't entirely sure what to add in. I believe I put some oars in, which is a little bit interesting, but I thought it was kind of neat. So some more flowers on the dining table. Just coming back into the kitchen, I also added in some blinds. Now, I'm not sure if they had blinds in the 1920s, but I kind of wanted some blinds, so I used them because no curtain would really fit in the kitchen, and I still wanted some privacy. So I put in some blinds. I think it turned out quite nicely. I used curtains where I could and blinds where they really wouldn't fit in. So here in the living room, I'm just choosing a painting to go over the fireplace because, you know, I thought the TV was just not really appropriate. So you can see here I'm going to choose these sofas from Roaring Heights. I end up making a one sectional sofa, and I also use the tiles from Into the Future as well. You can see those little grass tiles, which I changed to a carpet texture, and then I just use them as like little floor tiles under the couches, which I thought was really nice. It works really well as a rug because you can like use alt on them and put them in any shape or way you want, which is really nice. So you can see here I make the couch sectional, but there was like a glitch where I couldn't change the color of the last piece of it, which was actually getting me really aggravated. I actually in the end had to remove the floor underneath it to actually get it to place, not really place, to actually get Create a Style to change the color of it. So that was a bit annoying, but you know, I figured it out. So that's the living room there. You can see I kind of made it look a bit more Art Deco with that couch. It really does help a lot. You can see here these two bathrooms I removed because the house had like 4 bathrooms. It really was not necessary. So I removed those 2 bathrooms and I will make them a study. So right here I'm just adding a little bit of detail here on the half wall that looks down over the kitchen. I added like a little table here and a lamp. This is going to be the study. I also added a bookcase here and there. Also like a little bookcase underneath the table here. And so I like the books that kind of like go on top of the table, which is kind of nice. I also added in these little lamps as well, like these little, I don't know what you call them. I guess they're lamps on the floor just for a little bit of detail. And also I have to say that again, a little pink flamingo out in the front yard, which was quite funny. The classic pink flamingo. So right here, I'm just choosing some new paintings for the living room because I felt that they needed a little bit more of Art Deco paintings. So I ended up using paintings from Roaring Heights, and I also used little shelving units from the store as well on that wall. But it's kind of interesting because you can't actually place stuff on those. I don't even know what they are for, to be honest. Maybe they're just like a decorative item. I don't even know what they're from, what they're for, what they do, but, you know, they're kind of interesting. You can't actually put stuff on them, but I kind of made a painting on the wall, kind of like touch it so it looks like a painting's leaning on the top. So I thought that kind of looked nice. So here's the study area I'm working on, so just changing the color of all the furniture and stuff. So it's pretty simple. It's just got like a desk and a bookshelf and like an art easel. There's no computer, of course, because that really would not make sense, because again, this is the 1920s, and if you really want to add a computer in, it's just not hard just to plop a computer on the desk, and you know, that's pretty much it. I also added in a chest table by the staircase, which was nice. You can see here I'm trying to use the carpet tiles, try to make a rug, but they didn't really work out because they kind of glitched on top of one another when you like overlap them. So I ended up just using a rug from University Life, and I just made it all one color, so it kind of looked the same. Yeah, so here I'm just adding some details onto the desk. Just like some pad of paper and some pencils, a lamp, and you can see there's like a candle and some, what do you call it, tissues, and also some books on the ground. Yeah, that's pretty much the study. Also some curtains. I used the curtains from Roaring Heights because they were very Art Deco looking, so of course they fit in perfectly. So yeah, so that's pretty much the study there, and I'm just kind of looking around. Moving to the garage now, I really like the way the garage turned out. It's really, really nice for a garage. So I used these like unfinished wood-paneled wall kind of look. And I did put a brick wall in the garage because after all, it is the garage. You might have a brick wall in there. You can see I'm just adding in all the details. You can see there's like some tools on the ground, a shovel, like electrical boxes, some posters, some flags. I also used a lot of stuff from fast lane stuff. You can see some cones, some football, a baseball, and you can see here I'm going to put in some shelves, which I from Ambitions. They're from like a store, like the consignment store, but I found they really work well in garages. Like if you kind of merge them into the wall, they kind of look like shelves you'd have in a garage. There's also a tool rack over them, and a little tool case, and a workbench, and just some random clutter items everywhere. There's really no room for a second car, but, you know, it looks really cool. I really like the garage. It's very nicely detailed. That room back behind the garage is going to be the laundry room / utility room, which you'll see, which I actually forgot to put a sink in there, but let's just forget about that. So you can see I'm just going to put a shelf in kind of like underneath that painting. Oh, yeah, just glitched into Edit Town there. I didn't glitch, but I accidentally hit the Edit Town button. Let's just pretend that never happened. Yeah, just putting a kind of old-fashioned stereo on the second level, which is kind of cool. Also, this little shelf here, I'm just putting some detail items under it, like that chest, which I don't really know what it's supposed to be, but it's kind of cool. Like, you can just imagine there's something in it or something. I don't know. Anyway, you know, just adding some details everywhere. It kind of looks nice. I just added some drinks as well on that shelf. And I also added a little candle there, you know, just details in general. I also got a new oven, because one that looked a little bit more 1920s. A little trash can, you know, just a bunch of details, because I wanted to make it look a little bit more lived in. Yeah, things like that. Like there's some little kitchen utensils there, and also I believe some paper towel roll, and you know, things like that. Pretty much just like little nice detail items and stuff, which I really like. So right now, yeah, we're changing the flooring actually. I go with this blue and black tile floor, which I use throughout the most of the house. As you can see, it's in the bathroom, the kitchen, and the entrance. I thought it fit the house a little bit better than the large modern tiles I had before, so that's what I ended up doing. So this little room here is actually going to be like a closet, which is off the entranceway. So there's some shelves and some shoes and some coats, like clothes. I also had a clothesline in the backyard as well. Yeah, so it's just a basic little room here, which is pretty much like if you come in the house, you can hang up your coat and put your shoes in there, and you know, it keeps the the entrance nice and clear of clutter, which is quite nice. So right now I'm just doing the half bathroom that's on the first floor, just adding in all the little details and stuff, like little soap bottle, hand towels, stuff like that. Also a toilet, of course, because that would not be a complete bathroom without a toilet. Also a little mat as well. I'm changing the color of all the mats. You know, I'm just kind of touching it up at this point, trying to make the first floor look nice. I'm pretty much finished the first floor, actually. Now we're pretty much going to move on to the bedrooms, I believe, pretty soon. After I do the laundry room, I believe I do the laundry room now. Yeah, so here's the laundry room. It's pretty simple. It's just a bunch of cabinets and a washer and dryer. I go with a really shocking chartreuse color, actually. I don't know what made me do it. Again, it kind of is more 1970s than 1920s, having the colored appliances, but you know, I felt like doing it. You know, it might look hideous in your opinion, but you can go through and change it if you wish, or you can just look away. Yeah, so just adding in some backsplash in the bathroom, and we're just moving upstairs. So this first bedroom here is the smallest one. It's going to be like a little girl's room, or it could be a teenage girl's room. It really depends on what you want it to be for. So it's kind of pink, of course, because it's for a girl. So I used originally it was going to be blue, as you can see. I went with like blue colors, but I do change it. Yeah, so just choosing the lamp color as well. And then I believe I'm going to put a rocking chair in, which is quite nice, having a nice little rocking chair. I don't actually use rocking chairs that often, but you know, they're a nice little addition to any house. So here I'm just putting in the posters. So I kind of drew the colors from the posters into the room, because I thought, you know, if the posters are so colorful, maybe the room should have a little bit more color in it. So I don't know what that poster of that woman there, I don't know what that's from. I think it might be Roaring Heights, though I'm not sure. But I put it over the bed because I thought it kind of fit in a little bit. So, you know, that's when I started changing the color of stuff. So I got the pink bedspread, I got the pink rug, and I kind of changed the carpet a little bit to more of a pink color, I believe. Maybe not. I think I changed the wallpaper a little bit. You know, just adding some little details on the bedside table. Also a dresser, which is a nice addition. You should always have a dresser in your bedroom. You know, so that's pretty much it. Just a small little bedroom. So yeah. So now, oh yeah, I'm just changing all the doors upstairs to the Art Deco doors, and actually the doors in the entire house. I never did that, apparently. So now they're all Roaring Heights doors, which fits in a little bit better. So, yeah, next, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of like looking over what I did. Oh yeah, here's where I added in the chandelier chains, I believe, which I think look kind of cool, especially like when you get down into the house, like with free camera mode. You can see there's little chandelier chains that hold up the cabinets. They don't necessarily have to be for a chandelier, but you know, kind of like chains just to hold up the cabinets, which I think is kind of nice. So this is going to be the guest room, but it could be the master. It really depends, because this room and the master bedroom are both the same size, so really it could be either one, though the other bedroom has the ensuite bathroom, so that would make more sense to be the master. But anyway, so here I'm just putting in the furniture. This is going to be a blue bedroom, as you can see. I have blue walls, and also a blue curtains as well, and also I believe blue or gray floors, I'm not entirely sure. And so I'm just adding in some lights. It's a little bit dark in here because the curtains block out a lot of the light from the windows. But, you know, it's a bedroom, so you should have a little bit of darkness, so you don't have to wake up early in the morning when the sun comes up, you know, so that's decent. So right here I'm just choosing the rug. I go with a gray rug, actually. Very similar to the rug that's in the master bedroom, interestingly enough. Also, some more of those little lamps there on the bedside table. I'm also putting in a dresser as well with a mirror over it, I believe. I also get a nice painting in across from the bed as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just a nice little guest room, or you know, it could be a room of the one of the family members. You never know. I also put that little canister thing there. It's like a detail, I guess. Yeah, so it's pretty simple bedroom. I believe I'm going to be doing the guest bathroom at this point. Yeah, so it's just a small bathroom. Pretty much all the stuff is copied from the half bath downstairs. All it has is just a shower, toilet, and sink, and just a 2x3 space. So you know, it's pretty small. It's about the same size of the original master bathroom, I believe. But the master bathroom in this house is quite a lot larger, so that's decent. It's more than decent. It's fabulous. So yeah, just adding in some towels and such. And this is the master bedroom, which is about the same size as the other bedroom. I think maybe a little bit smaller, but it still turns out really nice. Actually, it's one of my favorite rooms in the house. I really like the colors I used. So you can see here, I'm just putting in the bed. And I go with like really nice cool colors. As you can see, I use a nice cool wood and also the bedspread. Turns out like a light gray, I believe. Yeah, I really like the colors I used. So I think it turned out quite nicely. I'm not sure I did there. Yeah, so there's the final bed, and I also have these nice like glass end tables, which aren't really 1920s looking, but I like them, so I wanted to use them. Also, just adding in some details on the bedside tables. Also getting a nice dresser as well, nice large dresser, which is quite good. And yeah, just adding in some like little, what do you call it, little plants on the other side there, and also a nice little armchair next to a table as well, which is quite nice. As you can see, a little plant on the table as well, and a little, what do you call it, actually I don't use a plant, I use like a little light on the table. And I also discovered you can put stuff on top of that dresser, which is really nice. So I put like a little pile of clothes on top of the dresser. So here I'm just changing the color of the rug. It's very similar to the other bedroom's rug, but just slightly different. And also changing the color of the curtains as well, so they match the bedroom. Yeah, I just really like this bedroom. It's really nice and calming colors and such. So right now I'm going to come into the bathroom, as you can see. So I'm just putting in all the bathroom stuff. You know, it's got a toilet, sink, shower, tub, double sinks as well. You know, so just doing in all the bathroom details and such, which is quite nice. I do like it. You know, adding in all the little details, changing the color of the floors, I believe, there, and adding in some mats and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty simple master bathroom, you know, so, yeah, I really like the way this house turned out. I'm quite pleased. I think it's quite a lot nicer than the original house, but that is, of course, your opinion. That's not, well, you have an opinion, of course, but it's for you to decide whether it's an improvement or not, of course. Yeah, so right now I'm just moving out to the backyard. I'm just adding in a few details on the back patios and such. So we're almost done here, so I want to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please click the subscribe button, because it would help me out a lot, and I'd greatly appreciate it. So yeah, you can also like and comment and tell me what you thought. So of course, I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy the before and after shots after this part. And bye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.